Hi peeps. Yesterday I posted my all-time top 5 Oracle deck video, and a few of you asked if I could speak to using Oracle decks as clarifiers in a reading. So I thought I would make a video about this now, just kind of while we're in that space on the channel as far as Oracle decks go. So in that video I described, and I'll put the link to that video below because I go a little bit more in depth in that description in that video of why I might turn to Oracle decks. But in that video, just to recap briefly, I talked about working with Oracle decks to clarify a tarot reading or to use an Oracle deck for your spiritual journey, to understand yourself at a deeper level, to understand your spiritual experience, your spiritual path, and your soul's evolution at a deeper level as well. And Oracle decks are great options for both of these things. So when it comes to offering clarification in a tarot reading, I'm going to give you some demonstrations of how I would do that so that you can see if you are new to tarot or if you just want to bring this into your practice a little bit more, how you can really flesh out your reading with your Oracle deck. So for this, I'm going to be using the Linestrider Tarot, and I'm going to show 2 different Oracle decks because there are many different types of Oracle decks. And so you can use more of a spiritually focused Oracle deck like Sacred Rebels, or an Oracle deck like the Earthbound Oracle, which is really just a straight up clarifier in order to flesh out your reading, to offer clarification to your reading as I just described. So I'm going to show you both options, and then you can, try this out yourself. See how it feels for you. Do you like to use a short and sweet deck like the Earthbound Oracle, or do you find that you really enjoy the more spiritual soul journey focus of a deck like Sacred Rebels? So let's say I'm doing a tarot reading for myself, and let's say that I want to understand what's happening in my career, okay, when I'm setting up my reading. So for this, I'm going to use a 3-card spread. So remember that the intention with this is that I want to understand what's happening with my career, right? Okay. So I've pulled a 3-card spread, and I have the Death card, the 2 of Cups, and the 10 of Swords. So right off the bat, I can see with both the Death card and the 10 of Swords that I'm experiencing a time of transition and of change in the career. I'm being encouraged to step into the 2 of Cups energy, working with my spirit tribe or another individual to create perhaps a revamp or a refreshed experience in regards to career, right? So I can see that from my tarot cards themselves in this spread. They're really showing me that I'm walking away from something. I'm turning away from something in the past in regards to career. I'm letting go of an idea or a belief I had. If this were an actual tarot reading, I might even be leaving a job that I felt a lot of security in, but that's become stultifying and that's no longer serving me on my path. And both of these cards are letting me know it's time to make a change. So let's say I want to clarify this though. So let's say I'm feeling unsure, and I'm going to start with the Earthbound Oracle. And how I will do this is, I am someone who likes to say this out loud. I do think it makes a difference in a reading. So I will say, clarify the Death card for me here. Clarify the Death card for me. And then I get the Cycle card. So to me, what the Earthbound Oracle is offering me for clarification here is that what needs to end is a way of being in regards to my career, that I'm ready to shift out of a cycle into a new energy in my career. And if I were looking at this and considering leaving a job and taking a leap of faith and starting to build a passion project or my own business, which is what the 2 of Cups really references for me as a reader in regards to career, then I would say that the Cycle card is confirmation that what I've been doing is no longer something that's viable or that has life or that inspires me. And so the Cycle card is saying it's time to end this cycle and to step into a new cycle. Let's say that I feel confused about the 2 of Cups energy here, and I'm not sure what the 2 of Cups is telling me. So I would say, clarify the 2 of Cups for me, please. And then I get guides. So this lets me know right here. This is perfect clarification here off of the Two of Cups that I need to be trusting inner guidance and my spirit tribe, your guides, your angels, whatever you would like to call them, in regards to direction forward in following and building my passion project, in building my own business here, right? So this is offering clarification that how I embrace the Two of Cups energy is by talking to my guides about this, listening to my guides about this, and then following the prompts and the signs from them forward on my path. So that's an example of how you can use a short and sweet clarifying deck like the Earthbound Oracle to flesh out a reading. I'm going to give you an example of how you can use an oracle deck to offer a full picture for yourself here with the Sacred Rebels Oracle. So let's say I've done this spread. I now have the understanding of where I'm headed with my career and what needs to happen. And then let's say I want to finish the reading with Sacred Rebels. So I just want kind of a last message from my guides or a last bit of insight into the reading. And so I would turn to the Sacred Rebels Oracle then and say, please give me final insight here in regards to this reading today. And then here I have Against the Grain. This is a further encouragement, prompt, and sign from my higher self and spirit tribe that I'm supposed to follow the direction of my heart, that I'm not supposed to fit in, that I should be following a unique path in regards to career, and that it's really time to take that leap of faith. So you can see how the Sacred Rebels kind of put a cap on the reading as a whole. It lets me know the energy of where I'm headed career-wise and the energy of the spread as a whole. So that's two ways that you can work with oracle decks in a tarot reading. I'm going to give you one final example here, and I'm going to use the Sacred Rebels as my clarifier in this reading. So let's say that I want to know, Let's say that I want to know where I am on my spiritual path at this time. So let's say I'm turning to the cards to understand where I am on my spiritual path at this time. And I'm going to draw 5 cards for this. So 3 of Wands, 8 of Swords, 10 of Wands, the Star, and the Justice card coming forward here from my deck. Just so you get an idea of the imagery here. So from the tarot cards themselves, I can see that I'm walking away from a self-limiting belief. Perhaps I'm reawakening to gifts that are related to past lives for myself due to a recent experience of just absolute exhaustion. Perhaps there's been an experience or a person in my life that I've experienced a lot of draining energy from, that I've had to realize that I need to turn away from. And that in regards to my spiritual path at this time, it's about unwinding the beliefs I have about my own intrinsic goodness that are keeping me stuck and afraid to let go of this energy. But I can turn to the 3 of Wands and the Star to allow my faith and trust in my spiritual path to help me build new ideas, new adventures, new experiences, and to experience a new depth of connection to a facet of the sacred feminine or the sacred masculine on my path, right? So let's say that I'm getting that, but I still feel a little bit confused about this 10 of Wands and this Justice energy here. So let's say that I turn here to the Sacred Rebels and I say, please clarify this 10 of Wands and Justice energy. And let's say I want to ask a specific question here, because I just want to show you that oracle decks can really flesh out a lot of hidden gems in a reading from your tarot deck. So let's say I want to know, like, is this a person or an experience that's caused this exhausted energy here? Please help me to see, is it a person or an experience? Defend to the end the worthwhile. So in this situation, I would say this is definitely a connection in which I've experienced a lot of draining energy and in which I've had to step into a defense mechanism. So let's say I want to offer some clarification off of that. So how do I release this 10 of Wands, defend to the end, the worthwhile energy? How do I step out of that trauma bond type of situation that's keeping me in a space that doesn't allow me to move forward or to fully access gifts from another life? For Against the Grain showing up here again. So this is letting me know that how I release this is by being my most authentic self, by not being afraid to walk away from something that's not serving me, and by trusting that by embracing my authenticity, I will create and experience community that's in alignment with that I don't have to give over a part of myself in order to be accepted by someone else, right? So I have clarification there now from my Oracle deck on that 10 of Wands energy, right? Now, remember that I said that it led to the Justice card energy of kind of accessing perhaps gifts from a previous karmic life or lives that now, because of this 10 of Wands experience, I can access because something has broken open there through the dynamic with this connection, right? And remember, when I say connection, it doesn't always have to be romantic. It can be a friendship or a business partnership, okay? So let's say now I want to know, what are the gifts that I'm accessing, that I have the ability to access it at this time if I allow this to happen? Releasing allegiances. So what I'm accessing is an ability in a previous life to be able to be very clear about my boundaries and to stop engaging in what is not good for me energetically, emotionally, or physically. And through that power, I then have more direct access to my faith and to my connection with my guides. So this is another example of how you can really flesh out your readings and how Oracle decks can offer you a depth and a breadth to the very powerful, direct understanding that tarot can often bring you. Now, of course, you can use tarot to clarify tarot in a reading, so you don't have to use Oracle decks, but it is a wonderful option and something that I think is really juicy and exciting and fun to bring into a reading, whether you're reading for yourself or someone else. So if you've been a little confused about clarification with Oracle decks or just wanted some more insight into how I provide clarification with Oracle decks in a reading, I hope you found this video helpful. As always, guys, I am sending you so much love and many blessings. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.